Go.
Zeke, what's the date today?
Tres.
Trace of what? What month is it?
2024.
That's the year. What month is it?
January.
What day is it?
January, please.
Okay, what year?
2024.
Say the date properly. The whole date. What month is it?
January, please. 2024.
Okay, let's review. What was our catechism question for January 1? Where does the world and everything in it come from?
God.
Okay. January 2. Why do I exist?
Because God wanted us.
We exist because God wanted us. Here's the question for January 3. That's the catechism question. Can you read it, please?
Yesterday we did that one.
No, read it. It's different. It's different today. Okay? Read it.
How do we know that God exists?
What do you think? How do we know God exists? Okay? What do you think?
You looked at this paper as well.
Yeah, yes I did. So how do we know that God exists? That's the question for today. What's the proof that God exists? What do you think? Do you have any idea?
God wanted us.
Okay, that's why we exist, because God wanted us. Why? How do we know God exists, though?
We don't know.
Okay, for you, I mean, every day we talk about God, we read the Bible. What's the proof that God exists to you? Living. What's he mean? Do you believe that God exists? You believe that Papa God is real?
Yes.
Okay. What's the proof? How do we know that Papa God exists?
That's a hard question.
It's a hard question.
Hey, you have to answer.
I don't.
What's your idea? You say should I give you an idea? Do you just believe data? Data tells you, yeah, Papa God is real, he exists. Is that why?
That's
Okay.
why, Mama.
Are you just copying? Should we ask Mama?
Yeah.
Mama doesn't. Mama just listening. Okay.
We don't know.
Let's read what the catechism says, baby.
That's
The
the
question-
question. What's your question?
How do we know God exists?
We don't know.
Nanay, do you believe God is real? Do you believe God exists?
Yes.
How do you know? How do you know God exists?
His spirit is in me.
Mama gave a really good answer. Mama says
Even though I don't pray,
she
when you're
feels
praying, I
she
feel
feels
it.
God's spirit in her heart.
I feel God is.
And I feel God's punishment only too.
I feel
Mama
God's,
feels Papa God's punishment sometimes.
I
Okay.
feel God's.
You're just copying.
God's punishment.
You're just copying. You said
Take
you just take God's word. Okay,
You do it from your heart.
from your heart.
Think
The other
about
day, Siki, actually you gave that answer. You gave that answer the other day
I
that
give the answer. You cannot copy me.
Hoy!
okay,
I
Zeke,
gave the
Zeke.
answer.
Let's read what the
Hey,
catechism
Mama,
says.
I gave that answer. You cannot repeat
Zeke,
this.
Zeke, stay with Dada. Today's question, how do we know God exists? Okay? Here, read what the catechism says.
fold
Read
it.
read the bold.
I don't want you to fold it.
Here.
Don't do that.
Here,
It'll
can you-
ruin it.
Okay. Can you read the bold, please, son? How do we know God exists? That's today's question. Okay?
We know that God exists because we can see his footprints all over the world.
What does that mean, Ezekiel? What are God's footprints? Okay? Ziki, today the sun came up. Today the sun came up. Do you think that's Papa God's footprints? Today we have rain. Okay? We have rain, water in the grass. Do you think that's Papa God's footprints?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? We see the clouds, we see the trees, all this stuff. Okay? We see Manny. You think Manny is Papa God's footprints?
No.
Yes, it's Papa God's footprints. Manny is a miracle that he's here, Ziki. You're a miracle that you're here. Okay? You're Papa God's footprint. Okay?
How about Dada?
Dada's Papa God's footprints. We're all. Our life. Okay? Our life is God's footprints. Okay? Do not grab him, baby. Do not grab him like that. Remember, he was screaming yesterday. Okay? Siki, how do we know that God exists?
I just read it.
Just say it. Don't read it again. Say it. Son?
We know.
What do we see? Something that we see, the catechism says.
We know. We see sun.
We see God's footprints. Okay? Let's try it again, son. How do we know God exists? Tomorrow when I ask you this question, you remember, okay?
I don't.
We're going to review the questions every day. We see God's footprints all over the world. How do we know God exists, Ezekiel? Okay, Dada's going to say it again.
Dada, I don't remember.
Okay, Dada's, listen. How do we know that God exists?
God.
We see his footprints all over the world. What are his footprints? Is Manny his footprint? Yeah, that's proof God exists. Manny's, it's a miracle he's here. Okay? It's a miracle you're here. It's a miracle the sun comes up every day. That's God's footprints all over the world. Okay? How do we know God exists, Ezekiel?
We see God's footprints.
All over the world. Okay? Don't put your foot on Manny's side. Okay? Let's continue. Look at this. The sun in the sky, the stars at night, the woods, mountains, seas, rivers,
It's this one.
the big and the small animals, people on all continents. God made all this, Ezekiel. Okay? This is from Acts. This is a quote from Acts.
This is from the old Bible over here, right over here in this children.
From Day by Day Kids Bible. Okay, it's already written here, son.
Look.
Okay, we don't have to get it out. It's already written right here. Okay?
Do not take it out in the recycle.
Yeah. So just listen. Since it is in him that we live and move and exist, as indeed some of your own writers have said, we are all his children. Who's God's children, Ziki?
Us.
Everyone. We are all God's children.
You're-
All Christians are God's children.
You're God's children, Mom.
Mama's God's children.
You're God's
Manny's
children.
God's children. Ziki's God's children. Dada's God's children.
You're so big already. How about old people? Super duper duper old people.
Okay? They're Christians. They're God's children. Okay? Here's another quote, Ziki, from an unknown author. Do not do that to Manny, baby. The fish in the sea said to one another, they say our whole life depends on water. What did the fish say?
The whole life depends on water.
But what is it? We have never
What is
seen it.
Daddy?
Okay, so imagine the fish in the sea.
Yeah, this is the fish and the sea. Pretend this is.
Okay.
This is the fish on the sea. And
Okay, the fish in the sea are talking and they're saying, hey, our whole life depends on water. That's what they tell us, but we've never seen the water. Is that true? Have you seen the air, Ezekiel? The air is all around us. We live in the air, okay? So we could have similar discussion about air, but these are fish. They're having discussion about water. They say our whole life depends on water, but we have never seen it. We have never seen it, so they ask a wise old fish to show them the water. The old fish said, oh, you stupid fish, you are living in it, and you've never realized it. Just like the fish in the water, man lives in God.
Dada, does fish die?
Yeah.
Siki, the fish die, but let's not get distracted. Let's stay on point here. Okay? Fish, where do fish live?
In the water.
Where do we live? In air, right? Okay? The old fish said, hey, you stupid fish. Okay? You live in water. And then they're saying, just like the fish lives in the water, we live in God. Okay? God is all around us. We're in God. Okay? As Christians, we're in God. Okay?
Right,
That's an
Manny?
important thing to remember. Okay? Always, if we
Manny?
walk our lives in God.
Right, Manny? Right. Yes, okay.
Okay? He cannot live without his creator and sustainer.
Where's the water?
Okay, the water's right here. They're talking about two fish that are in the water. Okay,
Right there.
you can't see them. Okay, they're deep inside the water there in the
I
sea.
could really see them.
Okay, there's a fish right there. There's the fish. Okay?
Yeah.
He's in the water having discussion with another fish.
That one right there.
Yeah, he's having discussion with that one.
Where's the old fish?
The old fish. There's no picture of the old fish, but let's finish the
Wait,
paragraph.
I think this is the old fish.
There's the old fish, baby. But let's keep reading. Okay.
He's out of the water.
Yeah, let's focus our mind. Let's keep reading.
He got out. He doesn't like the sea.
Okay, let's focus, baby.
These are the trees.
Yeah, let's not talk about the trees, baby.
And these are the mountains.
Okay, let's not talk about the... Remember, we focus our mind on one thing at a time. Okay, so what are we talking about? The fish in the sea. They're talking to the old fish. The old fish says, you stupid fish. You live in the water. And they're saying, just like the fish live in the water, we live in Papa God. Okay? So just imagine, Papa God is all around us. We live inside him as Christians. Okay? And if we keep our mind in that always, that we live inside Papa God, that's how we walk the Christian life, Ezekiel. That's,
Dada, they're under the sea. That's not
that-
true. They should be in the
let's
water.
finish reading, baby.
They should be in the water.
Okay, baby, focus your mind on what this writer's talking about, okay? He cannot live without his creator and sustainer. And yet he asks, where is God? Okay, what can't man live without, Ezekiel? Can fish live out of water? No, they cannot. Look, that fish cannot live out of water. Okay? Can we live without God, Ezekiel? No, we cannot. Just like fish can't live without water. Can you live without air? You're breathing air right now. No, you cannot live without air. Okay? The Catechism says we cannot live without God. Okay? Where is God? You need to know two things. First, where's God? Read this. God is?
God is everywhere.
Where is God? Everywhere. Nothing exists without God. And secondly, God is not everything, but He is in the origin of everything. He is infinitely greater than everything there is. What is God greater than? Siki, when we're doing worship, we don't do like quiet where that's not the proper time for that game. Okay? God is greater than everything that is. Where's God?
Everything that
Everywhere. God is everywhere. He's greater than everything that is.
Yeah, teacher, what this says. Read what this says.
Do you have any question about today's catechism?
No.
Okay. How do we know God exists?
He wanted us.
No. How do we know He exists?
We have his spirits.
How do we know He exists?
His footprints.
We see His footprints. What is His footprints? The sun, the stars, Manny. Okay? Why do you exist?
Look, happy face.
Why do you exist?
Because God wanted us.
Okay, last question. Where does the world and everything in it come from?
God.
Outstanding. Do you have any question about catechism? Okay. Turn up. That's it. That's the end of that worship.